Hello, my friends, it is I, your friendly neighborhood Russian. Well, today will be the first attempt of mine to have a podcast episode. Hopefully this will be something that I continue to do more often, and we shall get to converse at least one way about certain topics in length. Today's topic, of course, will be the latest rush of nefarious Fallout 4 mod thefts that are occurring on Bethesda.net, or as it has been called on Nexus mods by a few mod authors, Bethesda.theft. We shall be investigating the different sides of the issue, see what's going on here, and maybe if this could be an interesting case for another major problem that is out there on the internet. But first off, I wish to share with you this great picture I took the other day. Now, I was driving around and happened to see this. My first thought was, damn, after all this time, we knew that they were putting fluoride in the water to kill us all. But now they're putting the FEV virus in the water to turn us all into super mutants? Damn those nefarious New World Order bastards. The Illuminati shall die. But back into the real world. I unfortunately have no idea what FEV was. I just happened to see this and thought it was a great photo. And since I'm going to be talking about Fallout 4, figured it would be a great introduction. Get the laughing juices going before we talk about such serious issues. Now, for those of you who have not heard, Fallout 4, part of the whole big deal was Bethesda said that, I believe it was during their E3 conference, that they were going to be releasing these mods onto the Xbox system. I'm trying to remember now if it was both PlayStation and Xbox. Not sure. If it was for both of them at this moment or not, but that they were releasing them for consoles for the first time ever. They finally got around to doing that, and immediately as soon as they released the mod ability for console to download off of Bethesda.net, suddenly mods mysteriously started appearing without the permission of the original mod authors. Now, through some little investigation, it seems that some PC users are taking mods off of sites, particularly like Nexus mods, which is what I use for mod support and mod downloading, and to figure out which one I want, and then uploading it to the Bethesda.net without permission of the original owners. Even worse, sometimes asking for donations for content that they didn't even create. It has created huge backlash in the modder community. Very upset with these people not only stealing their content, but asking for money for stolen content as well. Some of the video responses on the modder side has not been that great. I'm thinking of particularly a video I saw by DD Productions. Does some great mods on the Nexus. Includes solar panels so you can have clean energy in the Fallout universe. Mod, stackable concrete slabs, a few bridges and elevators. He's got a lot of building supply stuff that I've done. I did personally a rather shitty video on YouTube explaining his opinion on the mess. Really insulting to console users, not really well thought out or well executed. And though, as a slight side note here, if you do watch it, it's a very hard watch. DD, if you are listening to this, I do not mind someone arguing their point. I love to hear a point, but I would like you to at least act like you were talking to the person that is trying to do the point. Playing a video game at the same time you're trying to talk and have a discussion, it makes you sound like an idiot. You came off in the video very immature, childlike sounding. It was more of a rant. I hate console users than actually any sort of constructive argument of, hey, this is my opinion, this is my stuff, stop spoiling it. It really didn't come off that way. It was very bad, and I'm very sad that that is one of the bigger videos commenting on this mess as far as from the mother side goes, because you really did not help your community any by producing that video. Now, apparently what has been happening is there's a lot of people out there who are in support of this mod theft, which is really sad because these people put a lot of hard energy into it. In the case of DD Productions, I mean, I cannot make mod for Fallout 4. He puts multiple mods on there that are available that you can download for free and occasionally donate to the guy. To then take his hard work and upload it to Bethesda.net and then just allow it to be downloaded by someone else, and then the nerve on top of that, which that is bad enough, but to ask for donations to it for work you never actually performed is just plain hard. And it's really not doing the console community any. Unfortunately, the console community is not helping their side either, because, hey, this is the first time they've actually had true mod support for this type of AAA title. And they've been demanding and clamoring for it and desperate for it for a long time. Hell, I left the console crowd because I was so tired of not having access to mods. I built a great game machine so I could partake in the modding community, or not building anything, but at least play the mods every once in a while, which is very nice. And I would like to support that community, and I've occasionally have donated to a few mod authors for their very hard work. And to then come out as for these console users, they come straight out and go, this is Bethesda's property, therefore these people should be allowed to just take material and upload it to Bethesda.net and stealing it, to say that mod theft is a good thing, or that people should keep stealing the mods and uploading them until the mod author finally gets around to uploading it to Bethesda.net. No, that is not how this works. Some of them have even tried to do the copyright argument. Now, first off, understanding of copyright here in the United States, very terrible all around. People do not really truly understand copyright issues. They think, and the argument that I've heard in particular from the console community in this is that Bethesda owns Fallout, therefore all content belongs to Fallout, therefore if anyone wants to take content and immediately put it up on Bethesda.net so that others can play it is legit. That's not how it works. Bethesda has been very good about creating this modder community, allowing it to grow. And as long as you aren't charging people for your mods, donations is different than charging. Donations say, hey, here's this great product, here's an example of my skill, if you really like it, please hand me money. While charging for it is cash up front, please, and then you get to play product. Which, that's not how the modding community survive. They have to put it out there for free, put all time and effort and energy into it, and then hopefully maybe get a few bucks on side to make it worth their time. Now, when you use the argument that Bethesda owns all of this work and therefore you can just take their content and upload it, that's really a very poor understanding of how copyright works. Just because somebody Bethesda created the main asset, so they have decided essentially to let people mod it, and as long as they don't try to sell it, they can do it. But that also means then the person who created the mod also gets to claim a copyright, at least partially, on the material he's created. A famous example that comes to mind in thinking about this issue is It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart. People incorrectly believe that the movie has entered public domain and therefore you can download it, spread it around for free. It's actually not the case. The movie, technically, its copyright did lapse because the owners didn't decide to renew it. But however, there's a small caveat in there. It's a Wonderful Life is actually based upon another book. Look at the original credits. It will tell you what book it is based on. If I remember reading about this correctly, anytime any company plays the movie, they don't have to pay the royalties. Now, this is confirmed. They don't have to pay the royalties to the creator of It's a Wonderful Life for his work. However, because the movie is actually a licensed work from another book, they do have to pay the copyright owner of the original book that It's a Wonderful Life is based upon. So it's a very interesting technicality, and that's kind of what has happened here in this new mod issue. Copyright law, I'm not a lawyer, first off, is very complicated. There's lots of technicalities and caveats to everything. So just to say that Bethesda owns Fallout 4, that's the end of it, you can upload it, that's not how it works. If you want to have legitimate discussion of who has the copyright to a mod, get a lawyer involved. Because trust me, you'll need him to get through all the legalese BS that is involved in the process. Until then, however, for the most part, the moral high ground does go to the modders for the ownership of the mod. Granted, they cannot sell it, but as long as they don't sell it, they can decide who gets access to it. And if they want to only upload to Nexus Mods, again, because that's the only real mod site I'm familiar with, that is their choice. If they do not want to put it on Bethesda.net, that is a choice of theirs. I'm sorry, console users. If they do not wish to share the mod to the console community, that is their prerogative. Unless Bethesda actually comes out and says anything differently. That is part of also using their content and creating mods for their content that you must upload to the Bethesda.net service until they actually come out and make that statement. That mod content must stay wherever or can be done with it, whatever the mod creators wish. So, console users, if you would like access to mods, become a PC user. Granted, there's some exclusive titles like Halo 5 or Halo Legends, which didn't really work that great anyway, because they were pieces of suka coming out the door. Or in the case of a good example, like on the PS4 side, Uncharted, hey, I would love to play Uncharted, but I get access to so much more content, so many more mods. I can buy a game and then download mods to essentially turn that one game into like 15 different games. PC is the way to go. There's some ease of use with the consoles compared to the PC, but in the end, the PC also has utility value. So, it can be used for other things, while gaming consoles, other than streaming some videos, is only really just a game machine and a video streaming service. PCs do everything. Join the PC Miesta race. Even though I don't particularly like that term. But don't force everybody to be having to police the Bethesda.net to try to keep these unlawful games on there. Which now is where we come into the way that Bethesda is handling this. That has gotten a lot of mod authors upset. They released the DMCA tools on Bethesda.net so that the modders can go after, find when their content has been uploaded. So Bethesda has said you cannot just take the mod. Going back to what I said previously, now that I'm thinking of it, has gone back and said you cannot just upload this content to their server. The mod creator has the right to do a DMCA takedown, has the rights to decide where his content is hosted, has the right to, and they've given them the tools to do a DMCA takedown. That is Digital Millennium Copyright Act takedown of these unlawful ads, which is where I'm now getting a little bit upset with the mod community, because this is a very important legal issue. The modders say Bethesda should have seen this coming and should have done something better to prevent this from happening. Well, this is a first for Bethesda. I will give them leniency in this case, because anytime a company goes into a new market that they are unfamiliar with, they screw up heavily. Examples: YouTube. What happened after that became big? Suddenly you had movie content theft, essentially the same issue all over again. On YouTube, people taking films or movies they didn't have the rights to, uploading it, and then the companies having to come and do DMCA takedowns, and people being able to create new accounts too quickly and doing it back up again. But and then the result of that is we now have this terrible content ID system. Or in another Google case, because they are the masters of screwing up. Good intentions, bad execution. That whole drop the mic issue, if anyone remembers that from April Fools of this year. Or even before that, actually, when they came out with the Android phone, they didn't ever have tech support for the device. So they put out in the world, hey, look at our great phone, use our great phone. But yeah, if you have problems with it, don't come calling to us, we're not going to help you with it. It's the exact same issue. Now, in the case of Google, it was willfully, I think it was more so willfully that they just didn't want to have anything to do with it. They wanted to create something and then wash their hands of the mess. Bethesda, I honestly believe it was that they were this is again new territory, that they got their mind focused on a particular issue and some things fell through the cracks, and this is the result of things falling through the cracks. Hopefully it will be replaced and fixed. But I hope that they keep with the DMCA takedown system. Now I know this will get modders upset because they've been complaining about it. That all this extra time they have to do to file a DMCA takedown notice, with modders being able to just put the content back up. I found somewhere a comment, somebody saying, could Bethesda integrate a content ID system like YouTube? Yet, do not do this. This is why I believe that this will be a great case example for that I hope will influence YouTube finally. The difference between YouTube and Bethesda.net for this mod service, if you get down to the essentials, is no different from each other. YouTube, you upload content, somebody then watches content, effectively downloading it to their browser. Bethesda.net, someone upload content, somebody download it to the video game to run properly. The differences are really all cosmetic. The similarities, however, they both are content hosting services. Now, YouTube took the terrible, horrible, massively pain in the rear end content ID system so that companies didn't have to go through the pain of filing DMCA takedowns for everything. That they could just hit button and wipe entire channels off the map. Any popular YouTuber you've ever seen has had to suffer this multiple times. Angry Joe, Nostalgia Critic, Mietpat, that Game Theories, has all complained in past about having content takedown notices because of their horrid content ID system. Now, I know it takes extra effort on behalf of modders to use the DMCA takedown notice to get a mod banned from Bethesda.net. But I want it to stay that way. I want the content creators, and I'm sorry this inconveniences you because you are little guy this time, but if you can prove that the DMCA system works when handled properly by you sending in DMCA takedown notices against Bethesda.net, which causes more work on their end, trust me, than hitting a button like on Content ID to get them to take down videos. I hope this will be a case example for when the lawsuit finally goes against YouTube, against their Content ID system, that they can go to Bethesda and say, here's a company that has the DMCA takedown notice system, and it works. I want you modders to prove that this system works. I'm sorry that it is such an inconvenience for you. But what about those big companies that do this exact same thing to use, or sorry, that don't have to go through this, that they get the content ID system? There is no effort on their end to take content down. I would like them to be forced to do proper DMCA takedown notices, to actually have a lawyer that has to look at a video and go, did this qualify as fair use content, before filing a DMCA takedown notice, instead of this copyright content ID system tagging thing that we've got so messy with in YouTube. This is why this is such an important issue, this mod theft, because this could determine the state of many other content hosting service markets, particularly as a YouTuber or trying to be a YouTuber. That I feel that this is necessary, evolving. It is going to be a pain in people's sides, but necessary, and from great pain comes good things. That even though it hurts the modders right now, later time this will make everybody's life better if we can show that the DMCA takedown system works. If you like the content ID system, by all means, thumbs down this video. Say, content ID claim on Google end is fine. Let the big companies abuse it to no end. Let other smaller companies abuse it to no end. Oh, the smaller companies that use it as censorship. What if a content modder doesn't like a mod that someone else puts up, does a content ID system? This is why we need the DMCA takedown system Bethesda has introduced. So please defend Bethesda. Show them that the DMCA takedown system works, so that we can improve YouTube, we can improve the Bethesda Net service. Now, I've been ranting for a bit, so if you've made it this far, which I doubt many will, thank you for watching. If you like the video, hit thumbs up button down below. If you want to show that the DMCA takedown system can work, that it must work, please, so that we can fix YouTube especially, please hit the thumbs up button. If you are mod thievery theft guy, then please go away. I don't want thumbs up, thumbs down, nothing. Just leave. Thievery is bad. You, especially as it's even worse, really. It's really plagiarism. You now are taking someone else's work and passing it on off on your own, which is personally even worse than thievery. In this case, the level of theft is even worse. So get out of here. But if you like to see many of my other videos, which I do occasionally, some unboxing videos, I'd like to get more entertainment style videos, but want to be aware of when new videos become about, please hit the big red subscribe button. And now that this video is over, please let the flame war commence in the comments below, as I get yelled at endlessly of you are stupid, you are moron, you are bald and hairless, which is technically correct. But please, for the one or two that actually may have a civilized discussion in the comments, please help show these people the error of their ways. I know it stinks because there's a very vocal minority, but we need to show them that right is right and right wins in the end. So again, spasiba, to spadanya, and remember, business получает.